This is just
Yeah,
this
this
whole.
is a quick release. It's a quick release, but I thought we should be able to do it for a specific work order.
Oh man,
Exactly.
no, nobody will do this. There should be a scheduled ship date. A lot of options need to be there.
Yeah. Many options are required.
This won't
Even,
work actually.
even I
Advanced may
was
be
very
correct.
surprised. No, but the advance
No,
is
but
only to
click on
schedule.
click on the schedule tab. Yeah.
No, this is only to schedule this job. That I wanted to
Oh,
show you that. So if you want to schedule, like most of our jobs we schedule, right? So any job, there are many scheduled jobs you'll encounter in your whole implementation. Even the job that we ran, transfer production cost from costing, you have to click on the advanced, go to schedule, and here, like, okay, as
yeah,
soon as
that's for the
possible, it's
request.
running.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just like what is the frequency you want to run, what is the start date, end date.
Oh man.
So
Well, these parameters are clearly insufficient.
yeah, even when I saw this, I was very surprised that why is there no work order here?
Right.
Work
No, this
order
is rigorous.
minimum. Yeah, scheduled ship dates from to. Otherwise, it won't be useful.
So, okay, I want to show you some other jobs, that the other print jobs and all, so that you get to see how you have to see the output. So any scheduled jobs behaves in the same
A
way.
quick question on quick releases. So is it considers only released orders, or it considers what kind of orders?
Release.
Yeah, only release orders. You can't pick release for unreleased order.
Unreleased order, correct. Only the released orders.
Okay.
So, okay, my next one is I want to show you printing of, say, component list. So whichever job that you run throughout the application in any other, even if you're doing an order management implementation, if you're running a job, I'm going to show you how to view the output. Either some jobs are listed in your particular application's task menu, like we are right now in my application right now is the manufacturing. In their task menu, I have this job, transfer transactions from production to costing. I have these print work order traveler, print component list. So I have so many of these jobs here. Otherwise, their all jobs is also placed in a central place called schedule processes. Once we run this job, we will go there. So I will show you two ways how you can run the job. One, I'm going to run it from here, and also I will show you somewhere else. So let's just give any of our work orders. I'm just going to give any number. HV1003. So I'm just giving 100 and typing out. Let's see, let it give the options. Are they not in release status? Missing in and out parameter at index 5. Was there a HV space?
What is that? It's changed strange.
Yeah.
Okay, I think fill in 1002 then.
I think it'll give me that same error for everything. I'll try. I'm just going to try once again. Else I will choose another job. Okay. Ha.
Yeah, this worked okay.
Yeah, but looks like the search page didn't.
Hmm.
Okay, I'm just giving any start date. Whatever is mandatory, I'm going to give. I'm not going to give all. And once you're done, so okay, this one I'm seeing for the first time. Print output. I think you can choose your template here if you have your custom template probably, because I haven't seen this print output checkbox earlier. So I'm just going to show you how standard it behaves, okay? And then just hit on submit. Now it gives you a process number. You might want to just note this process number so that you come to know, so that we go and check for the status of this process. Now to go to the central application of all the processes, if you are in the home page, the schedule processes come under tools option. So tools, schedule process, or the same thing, you can go from the navigator. You need to have the employee role to get access to the schedule processes. Okay, so here, see print component list. This job is running. So earlier, if you had come in a little sooner, it would show us wait or running, and then using this button, you can just keep hitting on refresh. to see till it completes. Okay, now I'm just highlighting this row because this thing has completed. I have highlighting this row and we are going to view the output. So here, so just scroll down. Open with Notepad. There's also, you can open here. So this is one is the Notepad. We generally copy. Okay, this is the log. Wait, here is the output. So select this and it will open on PDF. Now I'm hitting the download. No, this is the XML.
Yeah, this is excellent.
This is the log. This is the XML. Okay.
No, this one, yeah, correct.
Yeah, so you just click on that hyperlink. They keep making these little changes. You know, earlier what it was, if you click on this, you'll have a pop-up and over there you could download. And here now, how do I detach? Okay, this is the download now. Okay. So do I have to save it and open it? Let me just try and save it. Where is it? Is there no way to just like a detach?
You can download, right? You can download, yeah.
I'm trying. I don't know why it's not starting to save on my machine. Is that okay? Here. Sorry, I'm just using Mozilla and not used to Mozilla. I was waiting for Chrome to show me. Okay, so here this is also I won't say very new, but yeah, somewhat new, where they for all the work order numbers and components come in a barcoded fashion in your report.
Oh, that's
it's
seeded.
kind of,
Barcoding is seeded. Okay.
Yeah. This is also pretty neat. And this is just the component list for the chosen work order. So at operation 10, you have these two, 20, you have these two, these are the required quantity. So like I was telling you, this, look at this template, it's so basic and naive. And if you want like a better template, you prepare those templates, you prepare like, it's called a print report. It's called a print component list report. And you prepare that in BI Publisher, where you can have like a box here, like you just add a little more formatting.
What is the format of this barcode? Any idea?
Barcode always follow a single format. So there's one kind of font. This is called a font. I forgot. I told you that large implementation we did. We just needed to ensure that barcode was added to our list. Sorry, that font was added to our list so that the barcode is read. But the barcode is a standard thing, and even in Excel, it will just type the same value. So Excel or Word document or your application, you didn't need anything extra. It's just one of the font, like how we had the font list, from Microsoft. We had to add that font to that list, and that's it. After that, we were done. Okay, so this is any of the print reports. So now, if you're just like, you're not in the application, you can come here. If you want to run any job, any scheduled job, you can come here, click on schedule new process and search for your job. So let me search for the same job, print component, and I'm just tabbing out. So it will just open here and you have to hit the search button again.
So this list will be of those for which you have the relevant area role, right? Only for those for which you have the role?
Yes, otherwise it will not have, it will not pull out the
right.
job.
And then all of them are shown regardless of whether it's inventory or manufacturing or
okay, based on your role. So if you have the role
or finances or whatever you have access to, all of them will be dumped into this.
Correct.
Because in EBS we are used to seeing them separately by responsibility, but here they are all together.
Right. And everything. Oh, in EBS all the jobs are separate. They don't lie in one single place.
No, not in one place. You have to, whichever responsibility you are in, you will only get those which are enabled in that responsibility.
Oh, right. I think I remember because it was a long back. I've barely worked in EBS for 1 or 2 years. So I think now that you tell me, I remember that. Yeah, here. So you can print a packing slip report or whatever. I just searched with the word print. So it's giving me this list. For some reason, I couldn't find the print component list. I don't know. Normally, all the jobs are here, even if they're lying in your respective. See?
Dipti, sorry to interrupt, but can you reach out to the host and make sure that you don't get kicked out again today at the end?
Oh, that is taken care of. So I did tell them, yeah, and they told me that somebody is going to be available and they'll help me become the presenter back.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we did discuss on this. So there's no setup from their end which is kicking me out. So I'm thinking it's a start meeting thing where the host is not the presenter for a couple of hours. Well,
maybe it's a time limit for all of us, but rest of us are joining in late, and you might be, in order to prepare, joining in earlier.
That was my only guess because I normally join in 10 minutes before, and that's exactly when it was kicking me out.
Right. So you're there before us, and that's why we didn't get kicked out, but you got.
So yeah, but anyways, that's taken care of because somebody told me like somebody will be available and instantly they're going to make me the presenter back is the resolution we are planning for today. Okay. So I think we are very much towards the end. Let's see what other things I have on my slide. Transfer cross production to costing. We have seen that. Import production transactions. This is the file-based import. So it's either FBDI based or the REST service based. Let's just show you that option. So this is also an FBDI template. So this is again, where am I going? So this is where you don't have the desktop integrator, but you have a Excel template which you have to fill in, load it to a UCM container, UCM folder, and then run the CSV from there. So I'm just going to give you an overview here. I've not tried this in this instance. Okay, these FBDI templates is what we take from the Oracle's documents. It's normally stored there. We fill it up, we enter the batch IDs, we enter the create operations, and then use that and then create first this batch number in a UCM folder. So typically most of the times the developers help us do this. You have to create some batch in the UCM and then run this job here. So it will import the CSV. After you import the CSV, there will be a import job which processes the orders from your interface table to your the base tables. But this will all happen in the background.
So you have any template for it, or?
The templates, yeah, there is a template. Those templates are available in the Oracle's site.
I think so typically this is a three-step process. First step is you have to upload the CSV file.
Correct.
And second step is you run a program which transfers that data into a staging table. Correct. And the third step is from you do the or rather transfers to the interface table maybe. And the third step is when you run from the interface table to the main tables.
Right. So when you're loading to the actually you're right. Yeah. So when you're loading to the UCM, first you run to load the interface table, and then you from the interface table you process it. So in that process, whatever is failing in the interface table, you have the option to purge it from here.
You put it in a staging table first and then interface, or directly to interface?
As far as I know, it goes to the interface.
Yeah, maybe it's three steps. So the second step is straight to the interface maybe. Second step is loading it in the interface table.
First step is to staging table, am I right?
First step, I don't know what step it does, but essentially for us it's just to browse and pick up the file and put the file there. For us, I don't know what it does.
I think it reads the CSV and like you first load the CSV to your content folder. UCM is the Unified Content Manager. It loads the content manager. From there, it loads your interface table. So that's your second step, or did we call it the first step? We called it the second step, right? To load the interface table. From there, you run a program to load your interface. Then you run the process interface table. There will be some job which processes from the interface table to your
main table.
Yeah.
So this import work orders is the second step from the interface to main table.
This is, yes, imports the work order and its associated details from, let's see what it's saying, from the open interface tables. Yes, so this job, running this job, will import it from the interface table to your base table.
Oh, so this is the third step. Okay.
Yeah, this is the third step. The first two, I'm sure, is there in the UCM and the schedule process. If you go to the schedule process, you should see there's some job. So there is one more thing I wanted to just refer about supplier operations, or standard operations rather. Like standard operation, you can, that actually comes in the work definitions. A standard operation, you can like when you create a standard operation, while creating the work definition, we saw that we can reference a standard operation, right? So we have two ways where we can just reference the standard operation, or we can just create a copy of the standard operation in our work definition. So it's like very logical. When you're referencing a standard operation, it means if I come to the standard operation and make any changes, those changes are reflected in the work definition, which is using the referenced standard operation. And if you're using a copy, any changes to the standard operation will not be reflecting here. Okay. This is also one feature to trace the product genealogy. This is nothing but to trace your serial and lot item numbers through every transaction. And so wherever you have serialized items at every stage, you can track the thing. So this is a very helpful feature. Like I was telling you, the example of my customer, they wanted this, and they had very controlled environment. I think that was to do with mobile phones or the IMEI number. I think it was that, I can't recall now, but they wanted to trace the item's serial number at every stage.
I think it is not just the phones, it is used in typically any serialized environment or lot control environment.
Right. We discussed about this print work order traveler and the component list, how we can run this job and how we can see the output, and the close work order program. So the close work order program is just to close out the work orders which are in completed status. This is also a job, and you can also see the output of it. So in the work execution itself, we have a close work order job. This also you can schedule so that you know whichever work orders are closed.
Same as in EBS, yeah.
Yeah.
So what it does here, because it's the little bit of the cost structure is different here. What close does exactly functions? Can you list out?
It only closes the work orders incompleted. So I have given them that whichever work order status is completed, just go and close it. So it will just change the status to closed. Like suppose even the ones which are on hold, you think, okay, should be closed. This is just a filter. Yeah. Typically, it's used only for completed.
Yeah, in EBS it works out variances. I'm not sure if it does the same here or not, but in EBS it works out variances.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And another thing is the close. Can you make unclose a closed job?
Again? No.
So once it is closed, you are done.
Yes.
And you cannot post any more transactions to that.
Correct.
That's it, is it?
Yes.
So cost component is different.
Yes, cost is when we do the transfer cost to production to costing. That's when it will transfer it to costing, and then costing will run all its logics and all. So from here, we should just ensure that the costs are transferred to costing, that job.
So does that impact this any period close or anything here? This one?
This one does not impact.
Okay. Typically people do is before period close, they close the jobs and try to run it. so that the whole thing get accounted to that period.
Right.
Let's not go into that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Separate topic. That's
I'm
separate
just
topic.
checking. If you don't know, please you can say yes. We can read it later.
Yeah, we have any plans to see the costing and all piece in our next session, right? So I'm not getting into inspection, I'm not getting into costing, I'm not getting into any of those things right now, which we do plan to cover later.
Okay.
Now I want to show you the other capability as of OTBI reporting. So you can create OTBI reports wherein you just want to have a view of all the open work orders or all the open schedules to track on the thing. So across the Fusion applications, we use these OTBI reports. There are very few reports which are delivered by Oracle, and the others you are free to create on your own. So in fact, I just noticed that in manufacturing, we have a very limited set of reports available. Like in other applications, at least by default, I think Oracle has given some larger set of reports. However, what Oracle does is it gives you just the bare minimum sufficient reports which is sufficient for any basic organization. To access reports, we again go into tools and we get into report and analytics. So
It's
this
the same as BI Publisher, right? A
little different. BI Publisher is which helps you format your report, and OTBI is the Oracle Transactional Business Intelligence. So this is what it uses. So when you go to create your own reports, you'll go to the create and report. But in this session, I'm going to show you how to run a standard report. And again, because this was training instance, there were tons of reports created by people. It took me quite a bit of time to navigate. But all we have to do is open this business intelligence. So if you guys have a pop-up blocker in your browser, you might want to pay attention there. So because when I click here, it just opens a new page. So from Oracle, this is another application. The Oracle Business Intelligence is a separate application within the Oracle Cloud Suite. So it opens a separate page. And now all the default Oracle or the reports which are in use is typically kept in the shared folder. And when you're wanting to so when you're developing new reports, it's very common that you copy one of the existing report and make changes to it. So when you're working on any existing report, you'll copy it from the share folder to my folder and then work on it. And when it's all tested, agreed and all, you can move it to the shared folder. That's how typically it's done. And here I'm just going to search, like you can search by functional area. You just have to make those like in an educated way you get into the folder. So I'm getting into manufacturing, and because I'm just going to interested to see reports, I'm going to get into transaction and analysis samples. So the transaction analysis are the graphs and the reports which are there. So also I'll tell you how any report is developed. So to develop let me first complete the standard reporting running. Okay, so if you just want to run a standard report, you come here, these are the reports that I see, and just do work orders which are scheduled today. Just do a open. This is what it gives you the picture. Okay, and whatever seeded reports are there from Oracle, you can run them and have a view. And here, yeah, so even here you also have a filter of the org. Why is it showing only the test org now? Because maybe there's no data in other orgs, but here you can select your plant also, change the organization and view more data. Okay, now I'm going to explain you the.
Can you share this? Can you save this to a file or this report?
Yeah, we can. You can here edit, print, export. You can do a lot of things.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now I'm going to just explain you a bit of this architecture of this, so that in case you prepare your own reports, you just have an idea about how you have to go about. Here, every application is put into different subject areas, and a subject area is nothing like but it's a group of certain business functions together from Oracle, whatever it thinks that it's valid. So let's navigate to one of the subject areas. I'm just doing a create and I'm going to report. So like just general rule of thumb, if you're preparing a report and you find all your elements within the same subject area, it's a very easy report to prepare. But if you have to join two different subject areas, it becomes a little challenging, because you know, from your database point of view, you have to have the right joins. So if things are in two subject areas, so you're interested to show a particular field which is lying in another subject area, most of the time you'll see you're spending more time to build those reports, or those reports are not getting constructed. That's only because if you just pulled out that field from the second subject area, it's not able to find a join to the first subject area or the fields that you've chosen in your report. So this is just like a tip to help you debug. Like just imagine one of the schedules is what I'm trying to pull from my second subject area. So if I'm pulling a schedule, I can just be mindful that if I'm pulling a schedule, it has to have some line level detail or an operational level detail. Only then can it blend into my reports. Like you cannot just put like a very high example. I'll tell you, you cannot just put a org or a plant and a work area, work center, and try to add a schedule to it. There's no join. So it has to have a work order number or some line reference or something. So here we click on this use data model, because you will be using data models of select a data model.
Can you give us some examples of different subject areas for manufacturing?
You can view them here. All the subject areas will be here.
The table structure is same as R12, or is it different totally in Fusion?
Again, it's like how the UIs are same and different. It's equivalent. So pretty much similar, but again, some things can be different. But it's high level, it's the same. So, okay, I didn't want to get into the layout and all. So I used to prepare a simple, I don't know, every time the navigation is also, I find it challenging. I'll try to show you a simple report where you can just drag and drop some fields. It isn't going. So earlier too, when I opened this page, it was very slow and all.
You want to close some pages?
Okay, I'm going to try to do this open new. I have this also open here just in case it's helping me in anything. No. No, it's super slow, and I think during my practice I just at least saw where it can be done. Oh, sorry, I don't want to be in dashboards. Okay, yeah. When I did a new analysis report, it gave me this that select which subject area you want to go to. So I'm just scrolling. It's alphabetically put in, so I'm just scrolling till M. C, D, lot of deprecated, E, F, G, H, I.
This scrolling is very tough because you try to keep scrolling and at some point it decides, it stops and tries to go way down, and then you lose the in-between thing.
True.
Or sometimes if you are clicking one of them and you do page down, that works nicely.
When I click and do a page down.
Yeah, if you are in one of the rows inside, and then you keep doing page down. No, not actually select it, but just be on that row.
Okay.
No, that's selecting it actually, but yeah.
So this is how you just click new and you select a subject area, and these are the fields which are there in this particular one. And I think I'm just going to show you. Okay, if I mindlessly show you, the report may not come out, show an output. So we'll just put work area name and work center name.
These are fields from a particular table?
Yeah, like so here they have not restricted it to a table. Like here they are not getting you the view by the table, but that's what it is. And what they did is, like, even in the same subject area, you might initially face challenges to develop your report, but still within the subject area, it's pretty easy because that's how logically they have grouped it. But if you're mixing subject areas, I won't say it's difficult, but it's okay. It's a little challenging. It's a little more complicated. So even when you're giving when you're understanding your project requirements, and you're in the initial phases with your customers to understand the work packet, if you understand they want reports and they are with different subject areas, you normally can give a longer time estimates for those. Okay, now how did I run it? I think I ran it from here just to view the output. Oh god, even I've forgotten now. So like this, you select your columns and somewhere you run it here. Should I save it? Oh, okay, here results, I guess. Yeah.
So this WIP is typically org specific, so you can run the reports for WIP across the orgs.
Yeah, you can. So the data is not the restriction. So here, see, I just ran, so it's just telling me what are the org name and what are the work centers and work areas existing. So just something very simple I did. So like that you can do. Then you can, if you want this work area, this subject area and some other one, you can just choose to add this other subject area. Keep playing around with reports. It's pretty interesting also actually to prepare these reports.
On the other tab, you see the prompts, right? That's where you can mention the where clauses, whether which org, which work order, something like that.
Yeah, I think there is a data model which gives you the select statement.
So you can prepare all those, complicated or select and all. Also, what I have prepared the reports, I didn't use select statements and all. I just spent some time to group together certain fields and prepare an output. That's what I had done. But yeah, there's tons of things. Like I said, this is an application in itself, and you have like mostly developers and all, if they do this. But how Oracle has given it in a nice way. My personal belief is functional folks should be aware of how they should get into it and how they should prepare at least something basic. or at least have a view on it. And normally after you do any import, so people like to validate it against a report from the system. So this is used even then, that after import, typically most customers ask that, do we have an upload report? Can you pull out a report?
So we have certain seeded reports, and this is only for custom reports, am I right?
Yes, so the seeded one I showed you how to run. This is if you want to prepare your own, because the seeded ones are again very basic. Sometimes a customer wants one report with lot of, with a single view of a lot of things. So maybe the seeded reports don't satisfy that.
Also, Rao, this is also a way to get to the tables, because you don't have SQL Developer or Toad access. This is the only way you can look at rows at the table. And there are places where you can expand that select statement, and then you can put in conditions and you can actually see the rows. So this is the only way to see the rows of the tables.
Correct. You're absolutely right. And this is what we do when we want to see anything.
So this is as good as using Toad, is it? No Toad.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've seen there is an icon for data model, and that shows you the select.
Yeah, I'm just trying to go there because sometimes even I get confused on where do we have to exactly click. But yeah, you go there and then you keep typing your select.
Yeah, this is very confusing. Unless you work regularly on it, you keep forgetting the icons. I did it a few times, and even then I forget where the icons are.
Same here. I've done it a couple of times, and after that also when I'm visiting the page, I'm just a little confused. And I think here this is loading a little different view. Somewhere here I could write your query.
My connection is probably not good. I'm not hearing you.
Oh, is it? Can the others hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, my connection I think probably is slowed down. Yeah, okay, here you are. Okay.
Okay. So I think here itself we do an SQL query.
Yeah, correct.
And you give any name test, and you give the data source. We give as FSCM.
Right. Yeah. This is the one I was looking at here. Correct. I've done this before.
I forgot all the table names. So you can just look at the Oracle documentation to get some table names.
So I remember the PO table names. PO headers all and PO lines all, they work quite well in the PO area. And the order management tables, I think, beginning with DOO rather than OE.
Okay. So yeah, let's see the PO headers all, just like an example, just for you to be aware. So you can see this and then click on data. And how many rows do you want to show? 10 rows. Then you have to click on view. So many times I used to come here and keep wondering where my data is because I didn't hit on the button view. So you can see it in a table view.
Right.
So this is all.
This was exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. This is all the Toad functionality that you can do here, which is very complicated. And even after a week, if you come here, or 3-4 days, you come to this BI publisher, you'll spend a bit of time to come here and write your query. And
right. I was not remembering where it was.
Yeah, it's very annoying. It's very annoying. But I would be glad that this is there at least. Otherwise, it's so difficult to even work. I think the earlier releases, we were not able to see this.
Can we have a table structure somewhere, at least a high-level table structure?
In the Oracle documents, you have everything. In the Oracle documents, you'll have the entire table, all the columns, everything will be listed. And even the web services will be there in detailed in the Oracle's documentations.
User guide, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Oracle has multiple documents. There will be one user guide, there'll be one implementation guide, there'll be one of its documentation sets. But over there you'll have complete view of every API and what all objects are there in that API, which are the mandatory ones, which are the optional ones. Similarly for a table view. Okay. Yeah, this was the main thing I wanted to show. Next, I've just put in a couple of questions that we have been discussing in the last couple of days. So there was one question on what is the REST service, and we wanted to know the full form. The full form of REST is the representational state transfer. It's an architecture style of developing web services. Like they say, it makes the web services more simple and easy to use. We also had question around the training release. This one was clarified. We checked our instance was on release 13. This question I still have open, whether contract manufacturing works only on standard costing or is there other costing methods. I'm just leaving it open. We can probably take this up when we have our costing lessons.
No, I can check it as the user guide. That's okay. User guide
Yeah.
will tell us that. It's okay.
Yeah, I just didn't get the time to check. And we had this question at what time the ASN and the shipment request are coming in the outside processing. And if you remember yesterday during our, was it in plant parameter setup or somewhere we saw at what point it should raise the purchase request. That was a setup in the plant parameter. It was the plant parameter.
Yeah, that we know. That's same as EBS.
Correct. Then we had a lot of questions around contract manufacturing, and remember we were discussing in detail the flow of contract manufacturing. So I've put here all the steps, and so how it behaves is, like if you read this step by step, it will be very clear. So the contract manufacturing org, the org that we are defining in our system is called the OEM. This is called the original equipment manufacturer. So whenever you have an order, the request first goes to the OEM, which is your original manufacturer. Then the OEM receives the customer order and it identifies that this is a contract manufacturing enabled item. So the OEM, it sends a purchase request to the contract manufacturer and outsources the manufacturing. So the contract manufacturing org is completely a different org. And in our setup, we have only the OEM. So what happens is the OEM is creating a work order, and this work order is only so that you can track the regular updates from your contract manufacturer. So here it says the OEM also creates the work order within its enterprise to track the manufacturing process which is going on at your contract manufacturer's facility. And this is also to help you with the costing of it.
Okay.
Okay. Then here it says the contract manufacturer reports regular production progress to the OEM on every milestone, basically your component operations. And the contract manufacturer also reports any component consumption that is being supplied by the OEM.
Reports, what do you mean by reports?
Actually, you have an idea?
Sorry?
This, the progress, how it is sent. Are they going to what kind of portal or going to send it through interface?
One second. I think it's one of the services. It should be one of the web services.
Yeah, so the word reports is the key. Does it update the original work order in the OEM?
Yes,
something like
that is what it says.
What that word report means, that's not clear. Yeah.
But what I understand this as, that every progress that the contract manufacturer is making, it is sending an update to the OEM using the same services. It's sending the update to the OEM that so far I've completed 3 out of the 10 quantity, so far I've completed 2 operations. And regular.
But our user in the OEM can also go into that org and check up what is the status of that work order. Right?
Yes, and that is the reason that work order is created in the OEM, because that work order is kept up to date as per the progress of the contract manufacturer.
So the same work order, same steps will be there in both. There will be 2 work orders, one in OEM and one at the contract manufacturer.
Correct.
And they will be kept in sync. Is that something like that?
Correct. So that is how even I understood this. And then here it says the OEM receives the production report from the contract manufacturer and in turn updates the work order that was created internally within the OEM.
That makes it clear.
Yeah, and here we can do both the ways. Like every component can be supplied by the OEM, or you can also have components stored at the contract manufacturer's facility in bulk, or at every work order you can choose to supply the components to the contract manufacturer. But the components at any point of time is owned by the OEM. So here I think it says that the OEM also records the OEM supplied components which are being consumed. After manufacturing is complete, at the contract manufacturing facility, the contract manufacturer stocks the finished good in their own facility. Remember, we were discussing a lot about this.
Sure.
And it sends a production completion report to the OEM. Now, the finished goods at the contract manufacturer's facility is owned by the OEM. And for customer orders, it is shipped from the contract manufacturer's facility. And in other cases, it is stocked at the contract manufacturer's facility, which this OEM can use anytime it likes.
Right.
Okay, by placing the purchase orders. The OEM can track the components supplied by them and the finished goods stock that is lying in the contract manufacturer's facility by reviewing the inventory levels at the contract manufacturer's org and that the OEM has created within their enterprise. So the OEM creates, maybe a sub-inventory or something where it tracks the stock at the contract manufacturing org.
Quick question. The OEM you're referring to the logical org created in our system?
Correct. Absolutely.
Not logical. It's a real org. It's a real org in our own system for our own factory. Okay.
Yes.
But it is logical. He means it is not really a running plant. It can be that it's not really a running plant.
No, why not? It should be a running plant. Let us say 001 Seattle is the inventory org, and that's the manufacturing plant. Now that is wants to send out a part to be made to the send out one product to be made by the contract manufacturer. So 001 is the real OEM org, and let us say 005 is the contract manufacturing org. So those two orgs are there, and 001 is a real org.
So what I was trying to say is, it could be that, like what you're saying is right, like 001 is a real org, so it processes a lot of stuff in its own org, and some of it sends it to the contract manufacturer.
Correct.
But it can also be that it has no business of its own. It's only like no manufacturing business of its own, but it's only sending it to a contract manufacturer. Like, because he used the word logical org, and I was trying to say that yes, this is only
No, but even if they don't manufacture, they would at least receive what the contract manufacturer sends, and then they would be having inventory, even if they are not a manufacturing enterprise. They would still have to stock inventory.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I think my question is, when you define in org parameters, it's a contract manufacturing org, you are associating that org to a supplier and supplier site.
Right.
And that means indirectly you are having for tracking purposes, you have the org in your business unit or operating unit, but you are doing nothing. You are getting all updates from outside, and every shipping is done from that org, but you are not operating it. Basically, everything is come through updates from a third party, right?
Well, yeah, that org you will probably update on their behalf.
But actually, that is why it's called that org is modeled as a supplier. So, when we are associating that supplier, that org is nothing but it's modeled as a supplier. And you know how the contract manufacturing flow works. You cannot update the work order. So if you have a contract manufacturing work order, you cannot update the work order. You only make updates to the PO, and those PO updates automatically update the work order, because PO is the only contract between you and your contract manufacturer, right? So any updates, I think this is how it behaves even in EBS, that updates go only on the PO.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot update a contract manufacturing work order in your OEM. You cannot do any sort of
and also you won't know the individual operations that the supplier is doing. You only know when they report the finishing. You do not know the detail of their progress of that work order within the steps. You only know at the end of it.
Yeah, I think at all the count point or the reporting.
Yeah, all that is not relevant because they are not going to report every operation to you.
Okay.
Is it
yeah. Yeah, but that is what I'm seeing in the documentation, and the part that I have worked on is I've seen how the PO updates are reflected on the work order. So it's very interesting that you're updating a PO and then you come and see your work order quantities have changed, like you've reduced or increased.
Okay.
So, but all the operational level progress and material issues are getting updated, am I right?
All the count point ones, whichever you want the progress and wherever he is updating will be updated.
Correct.
Not necessarily every transaction. If you're that controlled and if you want every transaction, you can.
No, count point is the basic basis for it, am I right?
Correct. Correct. So like I'm saying if you can, but I meant that you will define every operation as a count point operation. Okay. And the last point says the contract manufacturer ships the finished goods to the OEM's customer on the OEM's request. After the finished goods are shipped and received by the customer, the OEM updates the inventory in the contract manufacturing organization that the OEM had created within their enterprise.
Right.
So it just updates the inventory in its place, though it didn't really.
Due to the shipping transaction, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I wrote some more points. Okay, this is the point where I said the contract manufacturer supports two flavors for the OEM supplied components. The OEM can do one of the following. It can supply the components in bulk at their facility or for every order. Typical business scenario, the OEM would prefer the low supply cost in bulk at the contract manufacturer's facility and ship the high cost components on need basis, that is per order basis.
What is that?
So
The two flavors as supply components in bulk.
In bulk, yeah. So in bulk, you are just supplying to your contract manufacturer, and as and when you can consume this. So it could be for one order, it can be for 10 orders, it can be over a period of 2-3 months, or for every order that you're passing on to your contract manufacturer, you can supply them the components.
So you are sending the material through your suppliers, am I right? Not from your org.
No, you're sending from our org only.
Yeah, from your own org.
And also the supplier in addition may use some of his own parts. That's different. You know?
Correct.
So you are doing it through the internal orders?
No, this is not done through internal orders.
It will create the shipment advice, right, in the contract manufacturing.
Right.
Actually, in outside processing, we read about the shipment advice and all. We didn't read about it in contract manufacturing. So again, I'm not very confident how it's going to ship the material. But if you see anything to do with shipment advices has come in the outside processing. You know, like honestly, I've seen a contract manufacturing flow in the cloud, but unless you really use it for a customer, these basic nuances of how you're shipping, where is the shipment and all, is not going to get clear, because when we saw the flow, you know, it was so, I can say.
Well, this is not a frequent requirement. I had only 2 clients. One was interested and we only explored it, finally they did not go for it. And there was another client which I was working for and they did decide to go for it. But at the last moment, I did not join that project.
Oh.
But very few, otherwise hardly anyone is doing this.
Right.
So look, one thing that we hear, like, you know, if we are not sending the material to contract manufacturing, then he has to buy and he has to build as per our design, and he send material back to us through the PO.
Correct. So what happens here is your work definition is attached to the PO, and that's all done automatically. So because like you said, you want the contract manufacturer to manufacture as per your specifications, automatically I think it is attached either to the BPA or it is attached to the PO. I think it's attached to the BPA that we create. I can't recollect, but the work definition is automatically attached either to the PO or the BPO, I can't remember now, and that is what is sent to your contract manufacturer.
Yeah, but this is important. This is important only because you are sending some parts to them. If you did not send any parts to them, then you don't have to implement this module.
Yeah, if it is a BPA, and then it shouldn't be a purchase order. It should be released then.
Release is a standard PO now in the system.
No. If we have a existing BPA for that supplier, So then we will have a release. So based on the release, we will receive it.
Yeah, but from even in EBS from R12 onwards, they rename that release to a standard purchase order or replace the release with standard purchase order.
I didn't see.
The release on the BPA has become a standard purchase order from R12 onwards. In Lebanon, it was different in EBS.
I didn't see, but we will believe you.
Yes, it's been there for a number of now 5-6 years. I've seen that. Yeah.
So once the material is received through PO at contract manufacturer's site, it's automatically that is sent again to this logical org, or is it how it is synced up?
So there are the two options that you can stock the finished goods on in the contract manufacturer facility and use it whenever you want to. And in case of back-to-back, your contract manufacturer ships it to the customer. And if it is just like plan to produce with the contract manufacturing, then it just stocks it in the contract manufacturer's facility, unless you request for it. So I don't know, as a part of request and all goes into another internal orders, or how does it go? But this is what we have understood so far.
So little confused.
Those are inter-op transfers, okay, in the system.
And Dilip, you are telling that if there is no supply between your org and the contract manufacturer, then you don't need contract manufacturer?
Right. If you're asking the supplier to manufacture everything, then why do you need this? Then you just have to send out a PO and he'll deliver. It's just to your design he's making it. But there is no need for transfer of materials, of components from us to them. Then there is no need for this model.
Then you don't need the PO.
But the question is, if
Yes, you will place a PO on the supplier,
yes.
and you will deliver to the PO the finished product.
No.
No, one second. I just want to ask you a question here. You were saying, I think you said, like, correct me if I'm wrong, that if we are not providing the components to the contract manufacturer, in that
Right.
case, the PO is not needed.
No, you are going to buy from the supplier. You're going to buy the end product from the supplier.
So still the
So you're
PO is
going to
needed, right?
You're going to place a PO on the supplier for the end product, and he's going to ship it to you or wherever. And there is no need for this module. This module is not required because this module is required only when you are tracking all the components that you send to them that they will use in manufacturing that, and at any point of time you know what are the balances of the parts with them. When you want all that tracking, then that's when this module is required. If you're merely raising a purchase order, hey, I want you to supply this product, but not to your design, but to my design, but it's still just a regular purchase. It's not anything other than a purchase.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
No. Actually, one thing. You're right. One part. If they want the whole thing, then you can do a PO. If you want to control the material also going to the contract manufacturer is only to do operations. All material through suppliers, I don't want to receive it and then send it to him. I wanted to directly send the material from suppliers to them. And don't you think?
Yeah, if you're asking other suppliers to send the raw materials to this contract manufacturer, then you want to track it, yes. In that case, you will use this module.
Correct.
But if you're leaving it entirely to the contract manufacturer to do everything, then you don't need it.
So, in other words, contract manufacturer is only to do operations, not to add material, am I right?
No, it will be a mix. They want to use material that we buy and send to them. Either we buy and ask another party to send to them, or we buy and from stocks at our place to send to them. Either way, and you want that material to be tracked, then you will use this module. But if you leave everything to the supplier, hey, get your own materials and make it, then you don't need this module.
Then you can just put a purchase order. Okay,
Yes,
got you.
yes,
Actually, this
order.
is a good point. Right.
Yeah, right.
Can it be a combination of that? Then contract manufacturer can buy few material and I supply some material through my suppliers?
Right, then you can use this module. Yeah, then you use this module. And again, because you are modeling an org, so that contract manufacturer has to be a really important one for you. If you just some occasional one or the other, you're not going to have map this to an org because it's a whole org. Unless you're doing real business with them, you're not going to do this.
I think this is contract manufacturing. It should be look like a 3PL. You know, you have a supplier, you send it to the 3PL guy, he will store it, he will perform any service to ship it to the customer. He will do it for you. But here we are talking as contract manufacturing, but 3PL guy also does the same thing. I think in that model it will work.
VPL, what is that?
3PL,
3PL.
third-party logistics.
Third party logistics.
Yeah, most of the 3PLs does the same thing. Like, you know, we will send the customer request to him to ship it to the customer. That is one way. The other way, we will tell our suppliers to ship the material to this 3PL guy. He will store it for us, and he will also does the operations whenever we need it, and also he send it to the customer.
But whose components? Components he buys himself or we supply to them?
No, we supply to them.
Yeah, then we need this. Yeah, then we need this.
Yeah, yeah. So if you put the 3PL hat on here, then definitely we can understand the concept.
No, I'm not done 3PL.
Now,
So
Basha, in your case, there is no work order tracked by you. It is basically 3PL is basically, as far as I know, Basha, it is you store your material there and you ask him to do certain packing and certain documentation and ship it to customers based on your request. But typically you don't do work
We
order.
can set the work orders also to them. You know, they will do the small operations for us.
But you don't track it. That.
Well, no, we will track it. We will get the on-hand details every day, whatever the inventory they consume and whatever the inventory they ship it to the customer. Everything will be trackable. We pay the services.
You're right.
And
We track only on hand. We don't track the work orders.
I mean, like, you know, I'm not saying that's the exact fit. I'm just visualizing how this works, because in the 3PL environment, this works 100%.
Yeah. Except the difference in the delta is work order.
Okay, so I mean, I'm not arguing here, but you know, that's where I look.
We don't know.
I can.
Master is Dilip here. We need to listen to him. Yeah.
So, yeah, but this is all about contract manufacturing, and a little different is the outside processing, which we have discussed, but there are a lot of questions around this which I was not able to confidently put it. Actually, this brings me to the end of whatever I had planned. If you guys want to still go over something, call out, we can still go over things and see.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you, Deepti.
Okay, I'm saying this is all the planned agenda I had. So this brings me to the end of whatever I had planned. And now if you guys want to discuss on anything or you just want to see some things, we can do that. We still have about 35 minutes. So if you guys want to see something.
I have one issue from yesterday. So on the security, I couldn't see the security console on my tools one. Can you add that?
Sure, I'll give you the role. Let me do it right away. And like I said, today's activity, guys, I'll try to send it across to you guys by tomorrow. Okay, yours is the Train User 02, right?
Tiny 02, yes. Tiny.scm.
Okay, I'm going to give you that.
Yeah, good. If you do this online, then at least you will get used to this process. Adding.
Sure. Done. To your user, it's done.
So you came here by manage user?
Tools. Tools with security console.
Right, and then selecting user.
Yeah. Then in this users tab, I searched for the user. Let me click done and show you once again.
No,
So
I
just
don't know.
searched and did this. So this is mainly what all we had for manufacturing, from our manufacturing training, and I think the next one what we have requested is to cover, I'm going to focus on costing and inventory replenishments, and if I have the time I'll just
I still
Sorry?
couldn't see that. I still couldn't see this.
I think it takes time because that process needs to run.
Okay, yeah, I'll just run that job also. Yeah, it takes some bit of time.
Yeah, I got it later, when you did it for me.
So this is the job, retrieve latest LDAP changes. So it's just that whatever changes you have made in your LDAP was also some Active Directory latest, what I forgot. It's just like user Active Directory, something is the full form. So if you make changes to the roles and all, this is normally a scheduled job. It's like from an admin scheduled job, which just updates back into the application whatever roles have been updated.
Do you have
So if
access for this?
Yeah, you do have access to this.
Okay. And another thing that we want to ask is, do we have access to the inventory responsibilities, quality and inventory?
Yeah, you do have access. So like I said, if you want any roles, just go and give yourself the roles. I have given you very basic roles which we need for this training. But if you want to add any role, just go to the same security console, give yourself roles, and then you'll have access to it. I have given you inventory manager, so you should be having inventory. But apart from that, if you want like some shipping or some receiving agent, receiving managers, just go and give yourself the role.
How
And
about
also ensure quality. I haven't given you any roles as of now, but yeah, you can just search and add any roles, and just ensure to give yourself the data access to.
Okay.
Like normally we keep forgetting to give the data access.
So we have to go to inventory management and give data access?
No, the setup task what we did in the beginning of this lesson, like before we started our session, we went to the manage data access.
Yeah, correct. So under inventory manager we went there, right? That's where you can.
Yeah. We went to the inventory manager role because that was our interest. Like suppose you give yourself shipping manager. So in the same page, to the shipping manager role, give yourself data access.
Okay. So we have to go to particular responsibility.
Basically to every role, you should have data access at a high level. Like certain application related roles you don't need, like IT security manager, application implementation consultant, you don't need. But at a high level, just ensure that every role that you've given yourself has some other data access. Else by default, you will see nothing. Like
Yeah,
I use my application developer access. Really, that's my question. Where I'm using that?
What's the question? Application developer.
No, the application consultant. How that is impacting my access actually? Because that's supposed to have every access, right?
Not every access. That gives you access to all the implementation responsibilities.
No, okay.
all the setups, only setups.
Setups.
Okay.
Correct.
So basically, purchasing, order management, such modules require not inventory org access, it requires business unit access.
So that
Correct.
doesn't data access.
What you would have to do in addition.
So order management and purchasing doesn't need data access. Am I right?
Purchasing is related to business unit, not inventory org.
So you don't need data. Only orgs only needs data access.
No. You need data access, but there the security context will be business unit, and the security context value will be business unit.
Like in EBS, you got inventory org and you got operating unit, right?
Got it. Now I got it. So
Yeah.
those things will be operating unit. You need to give data access.
Right. Yeah, business unit is in place of operating unit.
Correct.
Correct.
Got it. So I think we may come across some this kind of access issues. Maybe we need your help. Otherwise, other things we will explore ourselves. there you may need to help us out. We'll be stuck with some navigation.
Sure. Like I said, I've been struggling to get my email thing. Basically, I logged myself out in the email and, or something, my email, sorry, was not even accessible. I didn't log myself out. It was not even accessible. I had sent it to the IT team to set that right. But however, till then, I would say you just send to the DLs you have, or DL or the user you have been interacting with. I don't know whether you have Shweta's email or whether you have the training at Apps to Fusion. You can send emails to that ID and ask them to route it to me. And in the meanwhile, if I have my ID set up, I will ensure that is communicated to you. But yes, for a certain while, I will not even be available. So as and when I see your emails, I will respond. But
Yes,
yeah,
up to this Thursday we're available, am I right? Most of the questions we'll try to ask you before Thursday.
sure. Up till Thursday, yes, I'm there. But after Thursday, I will just not have access to anything. So
Yeah. We will try to, at least the navigations we have to come across all these issues, and we will send you. Okay.
absolutely. And once I have my things set, I'm going to ensure that it's communicated to you guys.
Okay. Okay. That's it.
Do you need to refresh this screen? It's still learning.
Yeah, I didn't refresh it. I'm sure it's completed now. I have not refreshed it. So it's already
Okay, it's done.
completed.
Okay, can I check at my end?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I still did not see. Do I need to log out, log in?
Yeah, just try logging out and logging in.
I think that was the clue, Basha. What happened yesterday? Log back, and then everything is seen.
We do have, yeah, such kind of little issues, plus little caching issues because it's all web-based, browser-based. And I would also say,
Can you please schedule that LADP program, please, frequently? Like, if we are stuck also within a 15-20 minutes, we should be able to come back and see what affected. The whole changes.
okay. Okay, let me see if I can schedule this.
Minutes.
Every 15 minutes. I'm just doing it till the end of this month.
Yeah.
Wait, no, hold on. You have said 15 hours. It's saying 15 hours, not 15 minutes.
Thanks for pointing that out. It's going to so here I'm just cancelling the next schedules. It's been scheduled now. Okay, yes, this is done.
Drilling is done?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We are not seeing that. Yeah, okay. In the skin got stuck. Yeah.
No, don't worry. It's okay. It's a little bit scheduled. It's to be scheduled. If you face any issues, then we'll come and see that.
Okay.
Do you guys have anything else, or can we drop off now?
Yeah, sure. Please send us the PowerPoint today, what you have done it. So
Okay, sure.
get that, yeah.
Okay.
You said that you are going to send us the exercises by tonight or tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow, yes.
Okay.
Okay, but it's been a great experience with you. So
Thank you so much.
thank you very much. It's been really wonderful, and whenever any feedback form comes, we will definitely appreciate your efforts tremendously. So it's been wonderful, really.
Thank
you covered
you
it
so
very
much.
nicely. You covered it very nicely.
Thank you, Deepthi. And I think we'll be here again talking, am I right?
Yeah, we should be speaking again on the 26th.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. And yes, I've also had a good experience with all you people. It's been very interactive, and that's very nice. And of course, I get to learn so many things as well.
Right. Yeah. It's been great. I think we understood it very well. And
Sure, I'm happy to help. So try out
Right.
some more things in the
Yeah,
instance,
yeah.
and
We
if you
need to
have
do
any
some more
questions,
trials.
you can
Right.
shoot out to me.
Right.
Enjoy your holidays. Hope you have good vacation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Have a nice vacation.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really looking forward.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye.